today I have the amazing opportunity of bringing a couple on who I truly have a love for. I feel like I feel we're so blessed to have the type of leadership we have in the corporate side, but also on the affiliate side. I've been in situations, and I gotta always be careful how I speak, but where I've seen leadership in different ways, right? And I think we all have, and there's different types of leadership that actually help the organization to thrive and to be empowered and to feel the love and to come together and retain. And it's a that cycle that we see from the leadership that is something that is duplicated down the line subconsciously, almost like people don't even think about it. So when we have really good leadership, it makes all the difference in the world. So the couple I have that I'm going to bring up right now, they are just phenomenal individuals. And the minute I met them, I could see there was something different about them. And as I've watched their leadership over the last year and a half, I have been super impressed on the way that they do things, on the type of love they have for each one of you, and the desire they have for everybody to be successful at an individual level, the way that they empower instead of try to control, which I think is so important. But man, these guys they're phenomenal. Obviously, just experts in the industry. When you hear them speak, when you hear them train, when you hear them even like do examples live in front of other people of how to do the business, they just know what they're talking about, and it shows because they've done this so many times, and they're an example of what it means to actually do the business, which is probably why they are black diamonds. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring up. I'm not sure if you're already on with us, but I'm gonna bring up. Oh, you already co-host. So let's give it up. Give some hearts in the chat for David and Brooke Nieves.
Thank you, Daniel. So what a pleasure it is always to be here with every single one of you. Good morning, everybody. And I don't know, Brooke, the ladies first. Do you want to go first?
Go for it, David.
All right, sure. Oh, all right, good deal. Well, welcome everybody, and good morning. Welcome to Vital Academy. For all the brand new people that are just getting started, are just seeing this, is a call that we do every single Saturday to do trainings, to do help you develop your skill sets. You know, a good mentor of mine told me a while back. He said, "David, it's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have one and not be prepared." What do he mean by that? He means that preparation is an opportunity is the road to success. It says it's about being prepared and preparing yourself for when opportunity shows up. And I think that's the underlining message in preparation. One of my favorite quotes is a Navy SEALs quotes, and he says, "The Navy SEALs say you don't rise to the level of your expectations, you fall to the level of your preparation." And so it's the same thing with our industry. As you are training, as you are getting yourself ready. I mean, this is incredible to be able to have these opportunities and get prepared from individuals that have already walked the path. You see, the only difference between Brooke and I and you is that we're just a few miles ahead of you. That's it. We've spoken to more people. That's it. We share the more we call the more people and say, "Hey, are you currently keeping your business options open? I have a business project that I'm very excited about. Would love to share with you." That's it. We've done that a little bit more than you. That's all that it is. So it's just walking the path and understanding there's individuals in front of you that have already done it, and all you have to do is follow. All you have to do is be coachable. And let me tell you, that the word coachable is a key word in this industry. Being able to be coachable for the system, being able to be coachable for suggestions, because there's no suggestion out there that I will ever make, by the way, that will basically I would never. I don't know. There's no suggest. There's nothing that I would do. There you go. There's nothing that I would do to tell you there's something that wouldn't work. Because if I hurt you, what happens? Automatically, I'm hurting myself, right? Makes no sense. That's the beautiful thing in this industry of network marketing, is that every advice that is given to you is given to you from a place of love, from a place of, hey, I want to help you succeed. And there's at multiple levels. Number one, it's the right thing to do, right? Number two, it compensates you. to be this way. So that makes this a very, very exciting situation. To be here and to be here, every single one of us. So I'm excited about this. So what I want to share with you today, I want to talk to you about an incredible event that's going to come up coming out in February, which is in February. What am I talking about? In October, in October, which is Vital Fest. And I want to talk to you a little bit about plugging into the system. Now, there's a launch step duplicate sheet that I want to share with you really, really quick. Let me go ahead and pull it up for every single one of you, and you can see. Oh, that's the Spanish one, so that's not gonna work. Even though I know I got my Duolingo people at, right? You guys are ready, Duolingo ready. But let me share with you this really quick. I'm gonna go over this over the next few minutes, so you're able to see full screen. Okay, so let me go ahead and make this a little wider for you. All right, good deal. So if when someone first gets started in the industry, gets started in the business, the first thing that we got to do is schedule a launch for them, don't we? And there's a launch strategy, say onboarding launch session, and there's an actual launch where people are just we're inviting people, excited, and so this sheet right here is going to help every single one of you go step by step in what you have to do in order for you to make it happen. Now, we talk about number one, always having a clear dream, right? Knowing what it is that you want. I mean, we know that the reticular activating system turns on whenever you decide what it is that you want. That means that you start recognizing opportunities that before you didn't recognize, right? How many of you know that every day you're walking past a fortune, right? How many has it happened to you? And you met an individual, and you're like, man, this person will be really good for my business, and you don't say anything, and you see that individual, right? You're at Starbucks maybe, or maybe you're at a restaurant or something, and that individual gets up, says bye to you, walks out the door, and you're still watching, gets in the car, you're still watching, drives off, you're still watching, you're like, ah. How many of you guys know what I'm talking about? How many of you guys know that we're walking past a fortune every single day? You see, and this happens because when you walk past a fortune, and I'm telling you, you start recognizing opportunities and you're motivated to take opportunity when you have a clear dream. So number one, you want to fill this out and have an income goal for yourself as well. Know what it is that you want to have an income goal for yourself. And the beautiful thing about here and within Vital Health is the fact that, hey, you can predict your income. If you tell me, David, I want to make $2,000 this month, I'm like, well, that's simple. $2,000 this month. Well, let's sponsor. Let's make a list of 20, 40, 50 people, and let's go ahead and bring in at least 8 elite packs you personally sponsor. You're gonna make $2,000, a little more than $2,000 actually. So it's predictable. The compensation plan is predictable within our compensation plan. Next is step number 2. We know that you got to make a commitment. You got to not just a long-term commitment for your business, but a timely commitment for the week. You know your work schedule, don't you? You should know your Vital Health schedule. And this is a part-time business. So putting in 10, 15 hours a week, that's usually what happens. And you're putting this time after you get done with your traditional job, which is okay. Because one of my mentors once said, he says, David, you get wealthy from 5 to 9. And you make a living from 9 to 5. Does that make sense? So let's create a fortune. And so you commit to your business for 1 year. I'm going to make a commitment for 1 year to do everything my mentor tells me to do, show up every single day and do everything I need to do for a year. And how many hours am I willing to commit every single day to put to my business? Next is step number 3 is be a product of the product. We know that this product works. We know that these products create such an incredible fire of belief within every single one of us. You know, I love what Mr. Keith Williams says. He says our products are not on trial here. Why not? Because they were here 10 years before the company was born. They were already here. creating thousands of results. So you want to create an experience for yourself, an experience for other people. Next is step number 4 is you want to make a list, not a small list, but a big list. And the funny thing about making a list is the fact that the list is a living document, isn't it? You're gonna start off with 10 business contacts, 10 candidates for product you're gonna share, and next you're gonna be able to put people on the list, take away people from the list, put people on the list, take away people from the list, and so on and so forth. You're gonna be able to do it back and forth. And here's how it works. You're gonna have a notebook. And that notebook, you're highlighting, you're scheduling, you're circling names. That's what happens. I'm like, okay, you're writing notes next to a name. I got Brandon here. Okay, hey, Brandon, I need to follow up with him on Tuesday. He loved the product. How many of you guys know what I'm talking about? That's how you work the business, isn't it? You work the business like this. Next, you got to contact your list. Well, that's step number 5, contact your list. And you want to contact your list in a way that is just with great strategy. And I say strategy, I like the strategy, peak at a high pass. You pique someone's interest. You go ahead and pique someone's interest. You edify a speaker or a mentor, and you pass the call. That's a great way to invite people. Also, there's great scripts. I mean, you guys, those of you that went to Diamond Code, there's scripts in your books. I mean, we have so many different scripts that you can add, but you want to get good at using the right type of words, right? When you say the word opportunity, usually people cringe opportunity. Word opportunity it's being overused. So we say business project. Hey, I have a business project. Instead of saying I have a business opportunity for you, I want to talk to you about, you say, hey, I have a business project expanding here. Would love to share with you some information of something that what I'm working on that I'm really, truly excited about. You see the difference? How that sounds? You got to learn the language in order for you to invite and create. Because when it comes to this industry, you got to understand this industry is old. So when it's old, that means that emotions are already tied to the industry. So you want to be able to touch the right type of emotions when you're inviting, and we will teach you how to do that. And the people that are with you in your diamonds and above will teach you how to do it. Next, you want to present to your list, and I'm a fanatic about using third-party tools, a third-party presentation, or someone outside of me doing the presentation for my people. So this is something that is key for every single one of you, and I'm excited about this as well. So present throughout the week. We have presentations that we're having. How many of you are excited about the new presentation? How many of you guys are excited about that? It's just simple for you guys to read. A readable presentation that you can take, literally learn how to present, and be and it's an exciting thing to do, to be able to share with other people and present to other people. But you utilizing tools. Veep also has presentations. YouTube has presentations. Throughout the week, we have presentations. Your mentor, Diamond, can do a presentation for you, but utilizing tools until you're proficient enough to do the presentation for your people's people. You see, I didn't say for your people. You saw that? I didn't say for your people. I said for your people's people. For you, because you always want to create that separation. Why? Because a prophet has no honor in his own land. I don't present to my people. I have someone else present to my people. I present to their people's people, because there's a separation, edification there, and they'll listen. Next is number 7. You got to connect to the system. You got to be able to stay close to the fire. This means that every single day you have AM Power. Connect to AM Power. How many of you guys are excited about AM Power and get so much value out of AM Power? I'm telling you, we're about to steroid up AM Power. By the way, we're about to put some superhero Captain America serum, Avengers serum into AM Power, guys, and you just wait. And so don't miss AM Power. Start your morning out in the right place. A 30-minute call ready for you to start your morning. 10 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Mountain, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 11 a.m. Eastern Time for you to start your day the right way and get those right thoughts, the right feelings, and the right intention throughout your day. That is connected to the system. Saturday trainings that we're having here, incredible, incredible. You guys got to not only be here, but promote Saturday training. Promote it to all your team. When someone gets started, that's the first thing I want to do. I want to connect them to the system. The first thing I want to do is connect them to the system. I want them connected to the fire. Immediately connected so they can get excited and they can see other people as well and start the community as well. So this is an incredible. So number 7 is going to be connected to trainings and weekly calls, Vital Academies, and of course, Vital Fest is coming in October. It's going to be the weekend of October 15, 16, 17, 18. It's going to be an incredible event. You're not going to miss it. Who here already put a 1 in the chat if you're coming to Vital Fest? Put a 1 in the chat if you're coming to Vital Fest. Look at this. Let's go. Let's go. Put a 2 in the chat if you're bringing at least 2 or 3 people with you to Vital Fest. Go, great. You don't want to come alone. Bring people with you. You whatever you do, and you bring people to Vital Fest, it's going to be an incredible event that's going to multiply your efforts, multiply your business to the next level. Finally, step number 8 is personal development. It's committing yourself to 30 minutes a day in personal development. This morning I was walking my dogs. What was I doing? I was listening to personal development. I was listening to a book. While I was walking my dogs, I was like, okay, this morning, I had a little time to read. Plus, I had a time now while I was walking my dogs for them to go out. I was listening to an audiobook. 30 minutes a day, at least 30 minutes a day. Jim Rohn says, miss a meal. You can miss a meal, but you cannot miss your 30 minutes. He said it's better to miss a meal than to miss your 30 minutes. Because you can do without some meals, actually. Fasting is good. But you cannot do without your 30 minutes. Without depositing positive information within you so you can develop yourself and get good thoughts. Good thoughts turn to amazing emotions. Emotions turn into actions. Actions turn into habits. Habits turn into your destiny. But it starts with acquiring good thoughts that are fed by good data. Data of empowering data that's going to push you to the next level. It's going to help you develop and discover new areas of growth within you. You see, a book should be a mirror. You hear me? A book should be a mirror. An inspiring mirror. There's multiple mirrors out there. Relationships in your life is our mirror. That's for sure. Every time you feel frustrated, you feel some emotion that is not love, or there's not enthusiasm or ecstatic or ecstasy within you. It's really it's showing you something within you that is touching something, and one day you have to take a look at that. The great thing about books is that books it could be a mirror for you, but it does it in a very soft way. I call it mother. It's like mother talking to you. Right? Versus dad. That is rough. That would tell you, hey, you got to change, and you got to change it. This is your shadow, and you got to change, and it's time for you to stop that so you can go ahead and get to the next level. Mother's is very, very soft. So a book and nice audio information, you're like, okay, you know what? I do need to change that. You know what? I could improve in that. This is a personal development is going to be key for every single one of you. As you can tell in this sheet, also you have in the bottom left, you have set up your auto ship in the first 7 days of the month. The first 7 days of the month, set up your auto ship for 200 PV. So every single month, what happens? You already qualify for your influencer bonus, don't you? So set up your auto ship for your first 7 days of the month, and you can have this right here. Financial goals. What is your annual goal? What is your monthly goal? And then the bottom right, you have a checklist of my first week wins. A checklist right here for you to go out there. Then you're gonna put my launch date, my sponsor. So some people don't even know who their sponsor is, believe it or not, or their upline, who their upline diamond is. So you can put this right here. So this will be available for every single one of you. Today it will be available for every single one of you. So excited for you guys to have this and share this and be able to utilize this as people are getting started in your business, being able for them to have a roadmap of what they need to do their first 7 days in their business. Are you guys excited about this? Is this helpful? Is this something exciting? Is this going to help you guys? Give you a roadmap, right? A first 7-day roadmap. I'm excited about it, guys, because everybody's been asking for this, and here we are for every single one of you, a 7-day roadmap that you can get started immediately today. So what I want to do is I want to show you a quick video of our last event that we had last year. I want you to play. So we're going to go to the movies, and here it is. Let's go to the movies.
So you think you were right? Bring it on, prove me wrong. Go put up a fight. The where do will knock you down. You know there's an ocean between us. Don't cry about it. Don't cry about it. You want me to take you in my trust. Oh no, you know that ain't the way. Oh no, there's nothing new in this game. You got to give it up, give it up. Give it up, give it up. I'm wearing you out. Keep on keeping on every night. Way up in the clouds. The where do will knock you down. You know there's an ocean between us. Don't go cry about it. Don't go cry about it. You want me to take you in my trust. Oh no, you know that ain't the way. Oh no, there's nothing new in this game. You got to give it up, give it up. But you got to give it up, give it up. You got to give it up, give it up. No, 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 give it up, give it up. You know there's an ocean between us. You want me to take you in my trust. You got to give it up. You know that ain't the way. Ain't the way. Oh no, 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 no. There's nothing new in this game. You got to get it. You got to give it up, give it up. But you got to give it up, give it up. You got to give it up, give it up. No, 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 give it up, give it up. You got to give it up, give it up. Give it up, give it up.
Are you excited about Vital Fest? I hope you are excited about Vital Fest when it's going to happen in Orlando. That was about a 900 people event, by the way. 900 people. And this Vital Fest will be 2,000 people. We will double that, my friends, at least. So get ready. It's going to be an exciting. It's going to be a party. We're going to have a blast. Thursday, we're going to have our team party. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's going to be the event. I know Friday we're going to have half a day, I believe, starting around 1 o'clock, 1 to 5. Saturday, we're going to go all day, 9 to 5. And Sunday, we'll go from 9 to 3. I mean, it is going to be a party. It's going to be a blast. We're going to learn so much. Get ready to feel all sorts of emotions, excitement, and sadness. We're gonna, but because you're going to see, your heart's going to be touched about some of these stories, and you're just going to be inspired. And people that kind of go in there are going to see the vision and zone in on what we're here creating, my friends. Connecting people back to the way things were supposed to be. Let thy food be thy medicine, thy food, my friends. And you know, I believe there's pharmaceuticals. There's a place for pharmaceuticals, but I think we're overly medicated. Can we agree with that? We account for 5% of the world's population, but we consume 50% of pharmaceutical drugs. Imagine that. Man, that's sad. That is a sad thing. We're the only country, by the way, in the world, the only country that does that. We just got back from Spain, and I ate like a Brooke would tell you how I ate like a little pigly, and you know what? Not it was great. No inflammation in my hands. It was like nothing. All the food was great. I was like, man, did you come back to the United States? And I'm like, I gotta watch where I eat now. Can I be doing that anymore? Because the stuff that what they allow here. But we're here staying up against that, my friends. We're here helping and impacting the people. We're also in the battle. And this is a battle against things that against I would say people against greed, because that's the root of all evil is greed. It's not money, is greed the root of all evil. Anyways, I'm gonna shut up because I'm like the old tape player. You gotta press stop if not it continues. But I do want to bring up my incredible wife. This individual, something that lives by the example. She does everything. I mean, everything she talks about. She walks the talk and she talks the walk. It's someone that I have the utmost respect for. Obviously, I'm biased, but I'm telling you, she is an individual that cares for people, truly cares for people, and is doing the right thing to help everybody in this organization. So without any further ado, my wife and Black Diamond and VP of Product Development, Mrs. Brooke Nieves.
Hello, everybody. Good day. Good day. I hope everyone's having an amazing weekend and a great start to your summer. This is exciting. Kids should all be out of school, right? I don't know about every area of the world, but I feel like most kids are pretty much out of school. So I hope everyone's having a wonderful start to their summer so far. And David, thank you so much for that document. That is amazing. I saw so many people talking about how useful that's going to be. So thank you so much for sharing that. And Daniel Wester, thank you so much for popping on and giving us our updates. Daniel West has been showing up. If you guys see him on a lot more now because you're seeing him on the calls, the AM Power, the Discover Vital. He has been an integral part of our team for really a while now, over a year for a while now, but now he's coming in and doing more the front focusing stuff. So everybody show some love for Daniel as well because he is a critical part of our executive team. So I do want to say that the things, yay, love for Daniel. So the things that I want to tell you that I'll get into, but I just want to mention that, as far as being here in Vital Health, you guys, I look at being partnered with Vital Health as like similar to what it's like to be in a relationship with a partner. Because there's so many things that cross over and are similar. And, when you first get with your partner, and really when you're with your partner the entire time, nothing's ever perfect, right? Anybody that's been in a relationship for a really long time, things never become perfect. You just focus on growing and you focus on evolving and you focus on things getting better, right? And with that, there has to be forgiveness and compassion and the desire to hold yourself and the other person accountable while not, holding any resentment or holding on to something that then creates a filter that as you move forward, you can't see through that filter because you're like, well, that one time you did this and you did that, right? And so you have to be very aware and forgiving and loving and there's a certain dynamic when you're in a relationship with your partner, but I actually feel very similar to being in business and being in partnership with Vital Health. And so you guys, if you're here and like in your heart that you are partnered with us here, well, first I just want to say thank you. And second, I just want to say that, we're going to continue to evolve and grow. And there's things that are going to be rolled out that get better and better and better. And there's going to be moments that we make mistakes. There's going to be moments that we don't do the best that we could because there's a bunch of humans running a company. And guess what humans are? Humans are not perfect. And so I just want to let you know that I really do look at it like that. And there has to be I think a responsibility on both parties to do certain things. And when I'm talking about humans, and I'm talking about our side, I want to touch on a little bit of what I did at Diamond Code. I'm not going to get all the way into it. One, because we don't have the time, and two, because you have to attend the events in order to see it all. But I do want to touch on a couple of things. And when it comes to taking responsibility for your part in how you're showing up in your business, and there's a couple of things that I think are just absolutely critical because you can look at the outcome that you want to create, and then your brain is like, well, what are the steps? What does it take for me to get there, right? What does it take for me to have the success that I want to have? And the first thing that you have to address when it comes to creating success is your own identity, your own transformation, you're operating this body, right? And there's a lot that comes into play when you're living inside of this body and you're experiencing being a human. Okay, so I just want to talk about a little bit about your identity and a little bit about what you got to do, okay, to be able to make changes. And again, I'm not going to go through all of my slides, but I am going to touch on this one. Okay, this is layers of your identity. The way that you show up in your life is layers of different things, right? Your spiritual makeup, your mental makeup, your emotional, your somatic, and your physical. So what does that mean? Your spiritual. That means that you have a connection to something greater than yourself, right? That's your sense of purpose. That's your sense of this whole like all encompassing, right? So for me, my spiritual, no matter what gets hard in my life, no matter what feels challenging in my life, I have a spiritual connection to I am a child of God, and it is my duty and my responsibility to support the collective evolution in whatever way. So Vital Health fits right into that because this is one of the avenues for me to support the collective evolution and support people in their wellness journeys and support people to becoming greater versions of themselves. So for me, this is a huge part of my identity, and Vital Health connects and ties right into that. Then there's our mental part of our identity. This is how we think. This is the literally when something occurs, it's the thoughts that we shape around what we just experienced. And this is why we talk about personal development. And that personal development is so important because it's so easy for the mind to get really loud and say things that are very disempowering. But then when you start putting personal development into your daily routine, like David was talking about, then it helps you to shape your thoughts instead of something happening and being like, oh man, that person said no to me. Ugh, it must mean something about me. It must mean something about my opportunity. It actually becomes, oh, okay, you know what? That just wasn't the person that was meant to work with me. And I'm just going to continue my journey, right? All day, every day. If you guys pay attention, anybody ever do this before? If you pay attention, your mind never stops. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. You can't even look at a sunset or a sunrise without your mind saying, oh, look how pretty it is. Oh, look at the purple. Oh, look at the this. I mean, like it's constantly narrating every single thing you do. And so it's actually really easy to become unaware of everything that it's saying in the background because you're just so used to it talking. You're just so used to it saying something, right? So if you become very aware that the voice is always talking, then you can become very aware of how you choose to relate to the thoughts that occur or how you if a thought comes in that you're like, wait a minute, that's not like consciously, right? For my kingdom within, that's not actually what I think. And then you reshape the thought. Then there's the emotional. Okay. These are the feelings that your body produces automatically. So let's say that you had your biggest heartbreak 15 years ago and you just haven't let it go. Okay. And that happened. And let's say that person's name was Billy. Okay. And then you're out at dinner and the server walks up and say, hi, my name's Billy. I'm going to wait on you. Right. And immediately there's emotions like you feel this like in your body, right? There's like this, like let's say you start crying. You're like, oh my gosh, and you're with your girlfriends or something. Okay. I'm talking, this is an example of, say you're with your girlfriends, right? that there's emotions that get produced in your body that are automatic, and there's patterns that your body starts to memorize that you actually return to because the body has memorized certain emotions, okay? Then there's the somatics. All right. Now, somatics are really interesting because everybody thinks of flight or fight, but there's also freeze. And freeze is a big one. That's actually my nervous system response that when something happens, I actually don't run away or I don't get combative. If my nervous system gets into an intense state, then I'll just freeze. Like I just won't do anything. I won't, I just I'll get overwhelmed and just beep. And so I've had to learn that about myself of how to support my somatics and support my nervous system so I don't go into a freeze response. And this is happening, you guys, in everybody's, this happens in people's businesses or with their partners. But if, we're talking about vital health, this happens in business all the time. People get so overwhelmed that they're like, "Nope, this isn't for me, I'm done." And they're out, right? Or they start to get combative or defensive or they just freeze and you don't do anything. Then there's your physical. Okay, this is the coolest thing about what we have at Vital Health, you guys, is we're supporting the physical. And the greater you feel in your body, the better you show up in life. That's just how it works. And so our mission here at Vital Health is to reconnect people back to a natural approach to their health so they actually feel incredible. So their guts are balanced, hormones are supported, their clarity is on point, their energy is just never ending, right? And that's how we show up, and we are the amazing caretakers. We're parents, we're spouses, we're colleagues, right? We show up in our life and we can do these great things. And so there's all these different layers to your identity are constantly always interacting with each other. And so when you go to show up for your business, right? If one of these areas needs some support and it's not getting the support that it needs, then you got to focus on it and you have to identify it and you have to say, okay, which area of this business, of my identity is really holding me back and showing up? Are you not tending to your physical? So it's hard to, work your business. Are you stuck in a freeze pattern? Are your emotions about being here in your business so overwhelming that you haven't taken the time to release something or bring something to the surface, right? Don't stuff things down, right? You got to bring them to the surface so you can release them so the emotions don't have a hold on you. Are you not framing things in your business in a certain way that are actually empowering and are going to take you to where you want to go? And then what's your connection to your work, right? We always say that your why has to make you cry, but like really, like what's your connection to what you do? And anytime I set a goal, most of my big goals, they include something way outside of myself. They include they're harmonious to the collective. And so you have to take a look at these things because when you're going to make changes in your identity and how you show up, you're going to make a decision and you're going to say, you know what, this is what I want to shift, because if I shift this thing, this is going to help me to get stronger in my business and hit my goals. And then you have to keep repeating that thing. As you're repeating this new thing that you've decided, you have to support your nervous system at the same time. You guys, this is something that's really important. If you are not taking time throughout your day to create stillness, you guys, if you've listened to me talk, you guys know that this is super important. You have to create some type of stillness where you take over the control of the input coming in, right? Where you can focus on your breathing, you can tap, you can have some sort of intentional movement. Like I do yoga, you can do breath work, you can do cold exposure. You have to do something that stabilizes the nervous system to input the new programming that you want to input, because replacing old programming, ways that you're doing things, habits with new you have to have a stable nervous system as you're doing it. So, I'm a firm believer that the only thing that takes people out of this business, the only time people give up on their dreams, it's an emotional thing. It's a nervous system thing, right? That's it. That's the only thing that kicks you out of your business is your emotions and your nervous system. So in order to make change in your life, it starts here. It starts from within. It's not an external thing. It's an internal thing. And to change your identity, first you have to interrupt what you're doing. You have to do something different. So if you're going throughout your day And you can, let's say you can reflect, right, on the last week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 5 months, 8 months, whatever, on your business, and you can see how you've been showing up every day. And if you're not where you want to be, then that's when you can look in the mirror and you can say, what I'm doing isn't working. Okay. And that's one of the most courageous, most empowering moments that you can have is when you look yourself in the eyes and you say, what I'm doing isn't working. And you don't say it from a shame, I'm beating myself up place. You say it from a place of surrender and complete openness that you're willing to do something different. And that's how I created the biggest transformation. And that's why I've always created transformation. Actually, I've gone through intense transformations multiple times. And it's when I've had to stop and finally say, okay, what I'm doing isn't working and I'm ready to do something else. And so you have to now interrupt the pattern that you've been doing things. So if you can look at your day and how you've been doing it, you got to throw an interrupt in there. Like you have to do something totally different. So if you wake up in the morning and you go and you go straight to brew a cup of coffee and then you get dressed and you go hop in the car, and in the car you listen to the news, or I'm going to give you that small little section. Right now, let's say you wake up and you know what? I'm going to do something totally different. I'm going to wake up every morning and I'm going to do 20 push-ups. And then I'm going to turn on my personal development immediately. I'm not going to drink my coffee. I'm actually going to go drink a cup of warm lemon water with some V Daily in it. Then I'm going to go brush my teeth, get ready, keep listening to my personal development, carry my personal development with me to the car, maybe make a quick phone call with someone on my list, and boom, right? So you have to throw an interrupt in there, completely change what you're doing. Then you want to anchor yourself to a new result, right? So one of the strongest anchors in my life that I can tell you, for everybody that knows my story, I've been sober for 11 years. I got sober at 25 years old after a 12-year battle with addiction. And the interesting thing that had kept me sober all these years is anytime my brain even thought like, oh, maybe I might want to have a glass of wine or something, immediately I created such a strong anchor of a visual of what it felt like when I was so sick. And I was really sick, you guys, and I couldn't even walk up a set of stairs, and I went crawling up a set of stairs and I have no energy. I thought I was going to die on those stairs, to be honest with you. And so that visual flashes in my mind, and that anchors me back to where I want to go and my truth. And there's no decision that could change me. There's no thought that could take me away from how I know that anchor makes me feel. And then I'm rooted in my decision. So you have to create anchors in your life of, you can create happy ones, you can create intense ones, but you have to create an anchor of like, if I keep making this decision, where is it going to take me? Where can it take me? And where is it going to take me? And you have to get so clear on being able to understand that your choices create outcomes. Like, this is what I teach my kids. Like, I don't care what you guys do. I just have to teach you to be able to understand what choice you're making and the outcome that it can create. Like, that's our job as humans, right? Is to understand that. And so got to create an anchor. Then you got to support the nervous system, right? We just talked about the nervous system. Your body has to feel safe enough to create change. Then you have to replace an action with something you were doing. So if you're coming home every day, Miles Stallard will say this, that you go to work on your 9 to 5, and when you come home, you work your business at your 5 to 9. So if you're coming home and you're not working your business and you walk in the door and you usually turn on the news or a TV show or whatever it may be, then you have to replace now this new action, right? You have to take out what shouldn't be there to input what should be. And you can play with that all throughout the day. What does your call schedule look like on the way to work? What are you doing on your break? What are you doing when you come home? Like, you can play with it and shift things around. And then you got to reframe, okay? I know that it can feel like you come home from an intense day of work, or you've been parenting, or you've been doing whatever you've been doing, and it's easy to do this. It's easy to say, you know what? I earned my time on the couch tonight, or I earned, we do it with food, right? You have an intense day and you're like, you know what? I earned myself a smoothie or an ice cream. I'm gonna go get an ice cream because I had a hard day at work, right? It's easy, but but you have a goal. You're like, man, I really want to, get my body here, but you know what? I earned my ice cream today. Like it's easy to do that. I know because I've done it. And I want to tell you that you have to remember where you're going, remember where you're headed. There's time for the ice cream, there's time for the show, but if you have a goal and a vision, then you want to stay on track, right? And so I wanted to talk about the internal experience. And then once you really have honed in on your internal experience, then you take a look at what's going on in your external and you look at your schedule, right? We just talked about the schedule, right? And there's a difference between busy work and productive work. And it's really easy to get stuck doing the busy work, redesigning graphics, playing with the system, scrolling, and because you're looking for prospects, game planning, doing all these different pieces. There's busy work and then there's the productive work. And the root that what we do here in this business is we introduce new people to the opportunity. We welcome them, we launch them, and we help their business partners do the same thing. That's the core of what we do. And when it comes to your day to day, there has to be a scheduling. Like you have to be so organized with how you show up in order to get all the things done. Because as we continue to be alive on this planet, things just get busier and busier. And it's because now there's ChatGPT, so information, things are moving faster. There's more ways for people to get a hold of us. Like things are rapidly moving. And if you are not organized and structured, then I can guarantee you some people, they don't have success in their business simply because they're not organized. That's it. That is the reason because then your lack of organization creates a feeling where your nervous system is like, this is too much. And then you just don't do anything. So it's not that you don't have the skill sets. It's not that you don't know what to do. It's not that you wouldn't be an incredible, color diamond, or it's not that. It's that you literally just haven't organized your life enough in order for things to flow and actually move. So I'm a big fan of having a Google Calendar and putting all of your personal non-negotiables on your calendar. You don't have to use Google Calendar. You can use whatever calendar you want, but have a calendar where you schedule your stuff with your kids, your partner, work, self-care, appointments, any cooking you have to do. I cook every single meal that I eat, so I have to build that into my day. My cleaning, my relationships, my morning ritual. I have a strong morning ritual and I have an evening ritual. And then you have all your business non-negotiables. So once you have your life things that have to happen, right? Then you put in your business non-negotiables and you put in what time are you doing your reach outs? When are you doing three-way calls? When are you doing presentations, follow-ups, creating social media content, launches, connection calls, trainings? You're plugging into AM Power, you're going to the live events and you're doing check-ins. When are those things happening on your calendar? And you have to make sure that you plug these things in. If you have a calendar that you feel really strong about, drop a 1 in the chat. If you have a calendar or don't have a calendar that you want to work on and you're like, all right, I know I need to get a little better on my calendar, drop a 2 in the chat. Where's some accountability? And it's cool if you're a 2, you know what I'm saying? Like it's okay. You don't have to be, you're never going to be perfect. You don't have to be, there's no shame in looking at your life with a flashlight and saying, you know what, this is an area that I have to work on. I have to work on my relationship with my greater purpose. I have to work on how I process emotions. I have to look at how I frame things. You know what, maybe I do look at things in a really disempowering way. You know what, maybe I'm not taking as great a care of my physical body as I could be. And that's what's holding me back from actually feeling good enough to go out and do more. It's okay to look at your life and say, I am so disorganized and I don't have a schedule. I don't have a Google Calendar. My whole house needs to get clean. My car's tags are dead. It's okay. You just look at it and you say, okay, let's do it. We got this. All right, what do I got to do? I'm a big list person. You guys, if you guys I highly recommend, I'll show you guys, I highly recommend an app called Trello. I made like a little example and it's really blurry, so you can't really see it that well. But I made created this little screenshot just to give you an idea. This is kind of what mine looks like. Mine looks slightly different, but this is an app called Trello, okay? And you can make these little sections then you can label them like the one called to do, today, call list, to buy, long term, right? The importance of this is that let's say you're running around your day and there's something that pops up that you know needs to happen, but it doesn't really have an exact time frame. It could happen this week, next week, sometime this month, but like it's got to get done. That goes on the to-do list. Let's say that there's something long term that you're like, man, I really want to do something like right now, I got to transfer all my content onto TikTok. I just haven't done it, and it's probably not going to happen this week or this month, but at some point I'll do it, right? And then you have a to-do list, or a today list. So anything that goes on the to-do the night before, you're like, oh, tomorrow, these are the things that I'm going to knock out. Boom, boom, boom. And you actually just slide them over. You drag them over. Let's say you have a call list, right? People are popping into your head. You're like, oh, I need to call so-and-so. Oh, I need to call so-and-so. Just add them to the list. Let's say you've got things that you need to order from Amazon or from the grocery store. Okay, you can throw them on there, but you can design this however you want. But the critical part about it, what's really important is that you don't keep things in your head. You don't get stuck in your day to day. How many times are you laying in bed or you're trying to fall asleep and you're like, oh my gosh, I got to do this and I got to do that. I got to do this. And you're like constantly like, do not let things live in your head. Get organized. Okay. So I organize myself through 3 different apps. I use Google Docs. Google Docs is it's a big white, sheet of paper on your phone pretty much. And then there's tabs. So you can create tabs within Google Docs. That's where I create my content, like all my ideas, like bigger ideas go there. All of my to-do things go into Trello. And then I drag everything that needs to happen into my calendar so that it actually has a time that it's going to happen and get taken care of. So that's what I recommend doing and getting organized because it will completely change your business. And I want to tell you that being in this industry, one of the most beautiful things about being here is that you have the opportunity to become this greater version of yourself in a container, one of the only containers I know. I mean, you can go to masterminds, you can go pay $10,000 to be part of masterminds multiple times a year, right? You can do that. And what's going to happen is when you go to a mastermind, you get put into this little pressure cooker of a few days or a few weeks, right? It's a smaller time frame and you're paying $10,000 to do it, but you have other people that are like-minded. You have a system that you're plugging into, and then you're being pressed to get closer to your goal, right? And whenever you're in these like types of pressure cookers, you have to face a lot, right? You have to face what's stopping me from getting to where I want to be. You wouldn't be paying for the mastermind if you were exactly everywhere that you wanted to be, right? You wouldn't need to be there if you were already there. You'd be hosting it. You'd be like, I don't need to attend. I need to host these babies, right? So vital health, being here in this industry, I know that it can feel uncomfortable. I know that it can feel challenging because I know what it's asking of you. If you're saying, I want to take myself somewhere that I'm not right now, that means you have to face what's in my way of stopping me, what's blocking me from taking me to where I want to go. And the thing that's blocking you from taking you to where you want to go, it's not external. It's not. It's an internal thing. It's the work that we all have to do. And creating the relationship with your work of being so excited about it. Like, ooh, I found something that I can work on. Like, I think I was having this conversation with my kid yesterday, and I was telling her, I love optimizing things. Like, I love making things better and making myself better and working on myself. And like, I love it. Like, it's exciting because what else am I going to do? I mean, what else are we really going to do while we're alive on this planet? Like, other than optimize how we show up and become greater human beings so we can be a more supportive piece to the collective. Like, like what else are we gonna do? Like, I mean, we have all this time on our hands, it's the best thing that we could be doing. And so it's like, I never get bored. I don't know how human beings get bored. Like that blows my mind because I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so much work to be doing. Like there's so many things that you can be, focusing on with your own inner evolution. And so when in the inner evolution, David talked about like us being, just a couple miles ahead. We're not always miles ahead, we're steps or inches or like, but it's an internal experience. And I'll tell you that that is where my greatest shift and our greatest shift in business really happened, was when we started focusing on ourselves and started focusing on who do I have to become? What do I have to do differently? How do I have to channel my energy differently? How do I have to reframe the things that I'm experiencing? What do I have to do to create more resilience and more grit? What do I have to do to get my nervous system in a place where it will make a phone call to someone on my chicken list, right? If you look at Eric Eve right now, love him, so proud of him right now, but what did that man have to do? I've worked with him for over a year. What did he have to do? I'll tell you right now that if you ask him what he changed from when he first came into the business to where he is now, where he hit double diamond, he hit diamond and double diamond right after it, but it took over a year and a half to do it. But that growth happened in a short period of time. But you want to know what was interesting is right before he started hitting momentum and crushing it, we talk, right? And he told me, he's like, Brooke, I have been so on point with my fitness. I've been on point with my family. I've been on point with my food. Like he made a decision and started adjusting the things internally within him. And then guess what happened? The external responded. And that's where you got to get to. You got to get yourself to a point where you're adjusting all the things internal. What do you have control over? And the external will respond. And I will tell you, and Eric, I'm just so proud of you. I love you so much. I just got to tell you that the reason you're here, you guys, the reason that you're in this industry is what it gives you that no other industry gives you, you guys. No other industry gives you the flexibility that we have financially and that we have with our time. You don't get it because I've seen it, right? This industry creates such a beautiful opportunity for us. And I know because I just got back from Spain. And why do we build an organization of distribution? Why do we do that? We do that because we help these businesses become successful. So we take royalties from every distribution point, just like the sharks on Shark Tank. They ain't stupid. They know what they're doing. They like interviewing people and they're like, that's a great business. I'm going to actually help you become successful and I'm going to take royalties from everything you do. That's all we do here at Vital Health. We help everybody set up their individual little franchises all over the world. We help them to become successful and then we collect royalties, just like the sharks on Shark Tank. And that's how you create leverage. That is how you create flexibility. And that's why we're here. That's why we're doing what we're doing, you guys, is because so you can have a baby, go on vacation, go travel the world, go do what you want to do, tend to your business, but have a flexibility financially and with your time that you're not going to have anywhere else. That's what this industry does, and it works. It really works, but it starts with going inward. What can you adjust in your life? Where's your control? Where are you channeling your energy? Focus on that. And if you ever have want to talk about it, like I don't know where to start, Brooke. I don't know what to focus on internal. It feels like there's so much. We're like, okay, we just do one thing at a time and we'll help you. You have the support to do it. You have the container here to do it. And so just reach out and let us know and we can talk about it. I've been talking about doing audits for a long time and my schedule is actually becoming more available to do that because we have Daniel West, Adriel, and Jesse Nelson now. So I actually have a little bit more time. My time's starting to open up a little bit more because of the more, hands make everything lighter. And so I am talking about doing that and doing audits where we can talk about what we can start to focus on that's blocking you from stepping into that success that you want. So I love you guys. The women's call, our next women's call will be posted soon. So take a look out for that. And thank you guys so much for being here. You guys are amazing human beings. Everybody that came to Diamond Code, thank you for being at Diamond Code. It was so good to see you and to spend time with you. And I hope that I see everybody at Vital Fest in October. Thank you guys. David, bring it back to you.
Well, thank you very much, Brooke, for that, and incredible explanation. And you know what? Something that I pull from there that is true. In my opinion, the only thing that gets people out of this industry is their mismanaged emotions. That's it. Is managing your emotions. Isn't that the same thing about everything, though, right? It's not just this, everything, literally. So, what an incredible training that would be to be able to learn how to manage your emotions in a positive way, in a productive way. So, but what we're going to talk about that in the near future. Now, what I want to do, I want to bring up an incredible individual. This individual is the person that is the reason I'm in Vital Health. I flew to Hermosillo, Mexico. As most of you know my story. I was looking for a company. I was looking for something, and I was already looking for about a year and a half, interviewing companies and going. And I heard about someone named Alex Reynoso, and I heard about him. A friend of mine, Lorena Leal, said, "Hey, you got to go meet this guy. We got to fly to Hermosillo and meet Alex." And the first thing that I've noticed when I met Alex was how humble he was, his ability to understand this industry. He had been a top producer at a different companies for over a decade, and had been doing this at the highest level for a very long time. And when I saw this, I was like, wait a minute, this is someone who knows what it's like to be in the field. He knows what it's like to put 50 cents in your gas tank. He knows what it's like to drive 40, 60, 100 miles and to show up to a house and no one be there. He knows what it's like to get objections like, hey, it's just a pyramid. Or he knows what it's like for people to quit on him. He knows what it's like to build a business from the ground up in a network marketing space. So he understands me, you, and every single one of us. He understands us. And this is why Vital Health is winning, because we are a company for the people. This is a company that starts with you, and understanding that you and me, the field, are the greatest assets Vital Health has, and he treats it as such. So without any further ado, I want to bring up our founder of our company, Mr. Alex Reynoso. Let's show a lot of love. Let's show a lot of hearts there for this incredible individual for us.
Mr. David, how's it going? Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Coming out loud and clear.
Great to be here. Thanks. Thank you, David. What a great training from Miss Brooke. What a great training from David. Those materials, David, they are amazing. Thank you for creating those and sharing them with everyone. How's everybody doing? LaDonna, what part of the world are you? Mr. Howard Persing, how's it going? Sabrina Massey, how's it going? Good morning, Larry, Dennis, Janet. Thank you. All the hearts. Let me send hearts your way because I'm getting way too many for me. So let me send some your way. Chef Z, how's it going? Hopefully you're cooking something delicious today, just like every day. Okay, all right. Well, thank you very much, David, for that introduction. I appreciate you. I appreciate Ms. Brooke and everybody that's connected into this call today. I love the fact that we can bring it home now and we can actually focus on the basics and focus on what drives the growth throughout our organization. Today, I'm gonna wear a different. I'm gonna wear a different. Um, um, Character. Okay, I'm not gonna speak so much about owner from a founder's standpoint, but I'll speak to you if you guys allow me as a builder. What would I do if I was building and maybe get into the nitty gritty on building and how to grow a massive organization, if that's okay with you all. And the hearts just keep coming. Let me send some more your way. There you go. Okay. sending some your way. And just the last few days, we've been talking back and forth. David and Brooke, they went on a little vacation, but man, David was, he could not disconnect from the team and from the ideas and from everything that we wanted to get done to bring all to all of you. And we have some amazing things that are lined up as we're about to start releasing tools and more material as far as building your organization. But I want to talk about today more on team building more than, again, as a company owner. And I may share some of the things that are coming later through my talk. I only have oh, I ran out of time. I only had 3 minutes and I ran out of time now. So I see you guys at the next call. Thank you so much. No, just kidding. No, I have about maybe 15, 20 minutes to share with you all a couple tips. I think is that good, Brooke? Is that good enough? Yes? Is that a good time? Okay, perfect. Because I always tend to go over my assigned time and I do not want to do that today. Hopefully you guys had your latte cafe this morning already. By the way, I'm celebrating that great USA win at the World Cup. That was a great game, and that was a great win, by the way. I'm not liking Mexico's win so much because the last goal with what we won, that was uh but I like the USA winning that game. Okay. Oh, somebody had their love cafe, Mr. Dennis. Okay. I want to ask details then, but somebody there immediately talked about Love Cafe. I like that. Okay, so let's talk about the fundamentals of growing a team, and not only growing a team in the beginning. So here's what happens if you've been in the industry for a while, if you've been a part of other companies before, you may have some people that are we call your warm market. And this people in your warm market, they kind of trust you already, and maybe they're not so burned out as like when I used to call my sister every other day, and by the time I wanted to tell her about Vital Health, the first thing she said was, what are you trying to sell me now, right? Maybe I'm thinking your contacts are not as as you haven't shared many things with them. Maybe you have not. So I want to share with you, as everybody, when they start, they have this warm list, most of us, and you can probably get a few people enrolled, but I want to talk about how to take it farther and continue after you run out of your small contact list or your small warm market that usually you may be able to bring into the company. Okay, so I'll talk about that now. These are a couple of things that I learned. Okay, and I came to know a term lately. I was seeing it here and there, but I did not understand exactly what it meant. And I heard, gaslighting. Has anybody heard of gaslighting? I'm sure we've heard the term. To me, gaslighting, it made no sense because I translate from Spanish to English, so I thought gas and lighting. Well, what the heck does that even mean? Like, it made no sense to me until about 2 days ago that somebody told me that I gaslight her, or she thought I gaslight her, this person. I'm like, no, that's not at all what the intention was, but I could see how that could be taken. However, I want to start with this. I want to start with, in leadership, if you are being mentored and if you are following somebody and you may have your own ideas. And in my case, back I go back at least 21 years ago when I went into the first meeting, and I was not dressed up for the occasion, just kind of like today. But today, nobody here at corporate is going to tell me because I'm the boss, so they cannot get upset at me or tell me anything anymore. However, I get to wear my hat, my Vital Health hat, and so anyways, I walked into a Super Saturday, and I do go dress up to all my physical events as I should. And I recommend everybody that's serious in business, you dress to impress, right? I grew up through that time of leadership development and building a business where you couldn't do anything that you wanted. And I went into this room, I brought three guests into this hotel meeting, and my mentor came up to me and I said, "Hey man, I got this three people here ready. This person is blah blah blah. And the guy was upset at me, and I'm like, dude, I don't think you're getting the point. I got a couple guests with me here in this hotel meeting, and the first thing he said, bro, do you want people to take you serious? Why you dress up like this? You don't come like that to a business event. And okay, well, I could have said I was maybe gaslighted or something. I don't know if the term is applied on there. However, when you're being mentored, this is the point. When you're being mentored in leadership, gaslighting is not a thing. If you're being mentored into a business, into developing yourself, as we talk about personal development, business development, and we talk about growing to be more successful in business, then I decided instead of being right, I decided to be, I don't like to call the word rich, like I hear people say, I want to be right, you want to be rich, whatever. I don't like that term, but I decided not to be right. I decided to be great in my business. I decided to be a professional, and I decided to understand, what being mentored was, and follow somebody that had the results. So I'll start with that in this conversation here is, we're taking, sometimes, I'm not saying you guys here on this chat, but again, this is a general leadership speaking, or talk. And I would suggest we leave the new gaslighting things and stuff like that, and we take always the positive, and we don't become victimized of what is being said. And I'm preparing you guys because the talk, what I'm about to say next, is not harsh, but I just want to take that off of our any understanding of things. Okay, so as we start, I believe in leadership, there's no, unless depending on the mentor, but the whole point of not being entitled to something or gaslighted or anything like that is just part of, I believe, part of leadership development, and being mentored is taking away preconceived ideas and being adapted into ideas that will make the business grow. Okay, so talking about that. Okay, so let's get on to our topic. So I believe there's three things to our business. There's a compensation plan, there are the products, and then the third one is the you part. And the compensation plan is there people enjoying great results in the compensation plan. I happened to be here in well, we happen to have some group of leaders or people. Actually, it was a leader and his organization. They came over. Some of them drove, some of them got in a bus, some of them flew from multiple places in Mexico. And so they came here for training, and they took their team and they organized all that stuff. And we were doing a hotel meeting. They asked me to be in the training in the hotel meeting, and I was surprised by something, which is not really news to me, but I was surprised. And one of them said, at the beginning when I showed up, he says, "I want Alex to see something," and he says, "Raise your hand here." And I don't know if this is, yeah, it's being recorded. So, of course, any results I speak about are based on your individual effort, time given, and wait, I gotta find a disclaimer that I can read every time I'll talk about money, because I don't want to feel none of the results are guaranteed. So, but I'll just tell you what happened at this meeting. And so the guy said, "How many people here are making?" In pesos, but how many people here are making around $2,000 a month just retailing product? And from the 50 some people in the room, at least 15 to 20 of them raised their hand. I'm like, okay, how many here are making $3,000 to $4,000 a month just retail? And of course, less hands went up, they went down, maybe about 8 to 10, and some of them were making more, right? So anyways, the point to come across here is, um, with Vital Health is the first time I've seen where people can actually earn, like if you were a rank, income just by retailing product, right? So that is there. That is the first time I've seen it, and the way that we've done it is with the scanner and with the tools and everything. People can actually set up a system where you can actually enjoy, or you can create income without ranking up, because in any other company you would have to be already a, I don't know, some kind of stone or jewel or sapphire or whatever we call it, right? So it's the first time I've seen that. Now, as we started to share with them, I said, okay, well, I got on stage, and I'll tell you a couple of the things that I'll talk about. And here's the thing: is we have so many ways of earning income with Vital that you can do by retail. You can do by acquiring customers online. I've talked to a few leaders lately that they've enjoyed. Who here is liking our new business model for customer acquisition? The new pricing with discount, and the I have this word is difficult for me. The threshold, or the threshold, or whatever, the little bar on top, but where if you add more products, then you get a higher discount. Who here is enjoying that business model more? Okay, I see one excited. Thank you, Sarah, for being excited about that. I see a few more. Sabrina, thank you. I hadn't seen that big old description. I'll save it. Okay. I that's a big description. Going back into what gaslighting means. Well, thank you so much for Googling that, or however you found it and sending that to me. That is great. Thank you. Yes, very helpful. I'll read it a little after. Thank you. So okay, perfect. You guys are liking that. So we have many ways of now getting paid. But here's the point into what I wanted to talk about finally. Okay, it's been like a big intro to get to where we're at. So we have the products that are the same for everybody. We have the compensation plan that is the same for everybody. And the compensation plan, it's got many things to it. It's got the retail aspect, which we've gotten a lot better now. It's got our compensation plan if you have teammates and you have for customers and affiliates. So you have that. So if the products were not working, you would not have testimonials. Everybody has the same products, except for maybe the keto products that we have in Mexico. But other than that, USA has the same products as in Mexico, or as in Europe, or as in Colombia, or as anywhere in the world. The compensation plan is the same. Now, I do believe that there's an advantage to being in the US or being in Canada, just because money is more available than in for people being in Mexico, because in Mexico there's not so much credit cards or so much availability of funds. So I believe it's a little bit, the opportunity on that end is a little bit better in the US than and in Canada than in Latin America, because of just of the amount of money the average person is able to make in their job. I'm not talking about dispensable income, because everybody's in debt everywhere in the world. So that's a little bit different, but I do believe that. So this one, the product is working, the compensation plan is working. I see people advance in their business all the time. And so then the third part to the equation, I don't want to use the middle finger. So the third part to the equation, okay, the third part to the equation is you. So this you, or me, right? In your case, if you're looking at it, it's the only variable that changes throughout the equation, because the product is the same, the compensation plan is the same, but the you part is what makes everything else works. Now, I am a believer there are different aptitudes that leaders have in their business, right? Like if you are brand new, if you've never sold a thing, it's way different, because you have to go through a lot of growth in order to get to be like somebody that you admire, or somebody that you look up to, or somebody who, or maybe your mentor within the business, right? I mean, to me, that makes sense. Hopefully I'm making sense, right? So there is a big personal growth curve that we all have to go through in order to make the products and the compensation plan work. Now, sometimes we think that sometimes we think that our results are outside of our performance. Sometimes we think that, oh, I'm not making money because, I don't have this flyer, or I'm not doing well because I don't have this other thing. Well, at the end, I look at, me. This is what I've learned through time. Okay. This is not gaslighting. This is not none of that. I'm not saying there's nothing that we could not have that could help you more, but this is a leadership talk. So um, at the end, if anybody else is achieving a certain rank, a diamond or double diamond, I'm not going to talk about income. I don't want to come out on YouTube videos or on this behind MLM website again, like for the last five times I came out in it. So if there are other people having results, then I believe a big part of my results are the me part in the equation. It's the only variable that changes. So when I hear people, oh, in Vital, this has happened, or in Vital, people are not making money, they're talking about their specific themselves and their performance and their beliefs and their actions that is not making the formula work, because there are other people that are achieving success. There are other people that are enjoying great income, and there are other people that are making their products work. So at the end, the first thing, and this is the first, doesn't feel like the first part of the training. I've spoken a lot now, but it's the first part of this, uh, first important part of this talk is the you part, the me part, my performance, my work, my actions, my putting, step in the gas, step in the pedal of the gas, all 100% are going to determine my individual results in this business. FTC would like that. So at the end, yes, everything helps, but at the end, the activity you do is what makes this business work. So let's go to the next step. If you are able to get over the idea that you're not having results because of the company, because of the website, because of the something else, if you are able to get over that idea, then we'll talk about the activities that will get you to fast forward your results and create results in your business so that you can take it to the next level. So the first thing I look into when I'm mentoring a few people and they tell me, well, how do I get to the next level? First thing I just do is I look at their personal activity, because you cannot control what your team does. Now, some people, um, some people, right? Some people, again, everything is a part of the success. I understand. But if the products arrive, if the compensation plan pays, then I understood that I have to take responsibility as a builder. I'm talking as a Okay, I'm back. I'm not talking about as an owner. I'm talking as a leader. Okay, I'm talking as a leader. Okay, I'm talking as somebody I'm building an organization. Okay, so if I'm able to get rid of my excuse of me, blaming everything else, but then I look at the people I mentor, and then I'm looking at their activity. I look at a business, for example, of David Nieves. Let's use him as an example. Now, he's a character. He's a person that has yes, he's building, him and Brooke. Brooke is building, they're recruiting, but I look at the results in their check and how well they're doing with their business. And this is a couple that has the same resources as everybody else. And I can use other examples in the organization, but I'll just use them because they were just speaking right now. And there's not a month where these guys don't enroll 4 to 8 customers per month into their organization. There's not a month. There's not a month where they're not doing prospecting. They're not putting people in front of me in a Zoom call, new leaders to talk to them. There's not a time. And when I hear people that complain about stuff, And then I see their activity. It's like, man, one enrollment in the last 2, 3 months, that's not getting you to be anywhere. So here's what I want you to focus in. Besides everything else that, yes, may help with your launching your business, I do believe that as leaders and as the leadership is developed, I do think that there's a lot of materials and things that are they have to be um, leader made, leader delivered into their organizations, because as a leader you do that. So, but that's another talk. So as you start to grow, and as you want to take this business to start rolling again, so you know, corporate is not going to do it for you. I'm not going to enroll 5 to 8 customers in your organization for you to grow. And here the numbers are simple. The more you approach, if you look at back in the day, I remember the system. David went through the system, a big system, back when he started in a company in telecommunication. What was the system about, David? It was just focused on prospecting and recruiting. Prospecting, we don't like those terms now for some reason. It's been changing through the times, but this this business, it's like a traditional business. You don't do marketing. Marketing here on our end is we invite people. We open our mouth. We start inviting people, and then we get them enrolled in the business, and then we launch them. So that's how we connect with the system that David was just showing right now, our forms, which is how to launch somebody. How do you get him going? But at the end, if you're not enrolling people, none of the rest of the stuff matters. If you need anything else as far as having training as a system, if you don't have the new people to get them plugged in into something, then it's not going to happen. But I can tell you something that may change your business moving from now forward is, if I understand there's people that are achieving diamond, double diamond, triple diamond, the compensation plan is not an issue, right? I think we all agree on that. The product is not an issue. So the third thing is, what do I focus on? What business activity, what business or money producing activity should I focus on? And to me, the biggest one and the most important one, and the only thing that you have to master, is how to get new customers and how to get new affiliates into your organization. So I've learned one secret to this industry. I am not the best leader in the company. I am not. I don't consider myself that at all. I am not the best presenter. I am not the best communicator. I am not the best health savvy person on our adaptogens. I am not. There are people that have credentials and they have careers and they have, you know, they're just a lot better than me. But what I focused on in my career is I've learned how to prospect and acquire new affiliates into my business. That's what I've done. So you don't have to be great at everything else, but what you do have to be great is in prospecting new people into your organization. Now, you guys have some fancy ways to prospect now. I see some of you guys sharing great pictures and videos on social media and TikTok and that stuff. I'm a little bit old school, okay? I'm a little bit old school. I actually I learned to prospect back when I was 17, and I spoke hardly any English. I speak very hardly any English right now. But even back then, 20 years ago, I learned how to prospect by going to Barnes and Nobles and sitting at pretending I was reading a book on the business section, leadership section, and whoever I grabbed, I was paying attention. If somebody came in, started walking, and approached and grabbed a Robert Kiyosaki book, hey, that's a great book. Why, are you in business? And just whenever I started a conversation with them, that's the way I started a prospect. And there's no secret to this business. You prospect 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 new prospects every day. You set up the appointment, do the presentation, and you're going to enroll 4 to 8 customers per month. And from the 8 to whatever amount, 4, 5, 6, 8 customers per month, there is going to be one. There's going to be like 3 of them that say they know everybody in Texas, and then nobody in Texas knows them, and then another one disappears, another one doesn't answer the phone, but there's a very high chance that one of them is going to set up a game plan with them. You launch them, and you start enrolling people through them. Who here has ever, I don't know if we're doing that right now, but who here has ever done that in the past? I've done it. I knew that's the only way was to grow back since 21 years ago that I started to do this business. And then you taproot, like Larry says, you start working there through them. So what happens is we go through a cycle, phases. There's the phase one, which is you're inviting new customers. The three fit rule, man, you guys have it. You guys know it better than me. You start phase one, you start inviting people, you start prospecting, inviting new customers, and you're on phase one. You're creating new momentum in your organization. You're building. Phase two to this business is you help them grow, you taproot, right? You start growing through them, developing silvers, developing sapphires in your organization, maybe a couple golds. And then here's the problem. Phase three is when you start to be the star, you kind of just show up to the Zooms. If they call you and you show up to the Zoom calls, but now everything else is more important than prospecting. Now you're spending more time watching TV, you're spending more time, you know, going to the lake, you're spending more time doing whatever other activity. And then four, what happens on phase four is your leaders do the same as you. And then so what I noticed is when I was in phase three and phase four, I started to pay attention. I am not. I actually want to go to the lake. I think there's time for everything, and the lake is fun. Um, I don't have a lake here close by to me. Actually, the lakes here in Sonora, they're dried up, but there's a beach close by, but that's about an hour and 20 minutes away. So of course there's time to have fun for everything. But if you're on phase three and four, then your priority is not phase one and enrolling new customers. When you're on phase three or when you're on phase four, there's not so much momentum in the organization anymore, and you're paying attention to everything else except what created the results in the first place, which was you inviting new people, inviting new leaders, inviting new reps, inviting new affiliates, inviting new customers, and that was what created the momentum in the first place. So what happens is if you're in phase one and phase two, you're I should have made this visual. Maybe we can do another training and I'll just have it ready visually. But what happens is your potential, everybody in this Zoom call has the same potential. We all have the same potential here, right? God gave you a brain, eyes, mouth, vision, it gave you everything to all of us at the same, right? So the potential is the same. And then, so what you have to do is you have to grow the belief. How do you grow the belief? Well, if you're enrolling customers, they're excited, they're bringing new people in, your belief goes up, then you have results. You get your check, and your check starts to be great. So then your belief turns to be better, and then everything works positively. But if you're focused on phase three and four, you're not bringing new people, you're in management mode, and then it works against you because now your belief is focused on problems. Your belief is focused on something else. So then your results are less, your potential, you're not tapping into it, and then it works in a spiral going the other way. But it's easy to catch. We have to focus on, and this is my whole thing about this morning, is if we take responsibility of our actions and we take responsibility of our growth and we really are serious about taking to the next level and whatever that is for you, whatever you're comfortable with, nobody here forces you to be, crown diamond tomorrow. There's no such a thing, but whatever you feel comfortable with, as far as how much effort and how much you want to be financially free through our business model, or you want to pay some debt, whatever that is, it's just going to happen. The more you prospect, the more you go on phase one, the more that cycle is going to work positive to you and create the results that you want. It's only those three factors. Now, again, if you're on phase three and four, Some people might be defensive and be like, well, no, that's not true. Is this, is that? Again, it's always easier to find an excuse than to focus on it's all of us' responsibility. Now, as a company, I understand, we're talking that, but today we're talking leadership. Sorry, and not gaslighting. We're talking leadership. So the moment we take into consideration that I am responsible for my growth, I am responsible for the amount of people I can bring into my business. I can't worry about my organization because at the end you don't really control the activity of everybody in the organization. That's impossible. Nobody can do that. But what you can control is how many new customers you invite to the business, how much new blood. I don't know who came up with that term. And here with new blood, fixes everything and stuff. Maybe they were vampire or something, but I understand the point of new people or new excitement that will be, phase one, right? Yeah, maybe am I the only one that's heard that term? You bring new blood to your business, and I don't know if you're a blood bank, to be doing that. But again, we understand the concept is, and that will fix every problem that we have right now because you're back on phase one. So as we start, David, I don't know. I think with Jesse, we've been working on having our AM powers focused on leadership and team development. So if everybody would like that, then let's drop in the chat if you would like that kind of training from being here, and it will just be AM powered so that you're empowered to really learn the skills, the mental thinking, the ideas you need in order to become the person. First, you got to become the person. You got to be responsible. You got to own it. You got to own your results, not blame it to everything else. You own the results, and then the results happen. There's no way, I can tell you something else. There is no way if you're prospecting, you're presenting, there's enrollments, there's no way that you cannot advance and move forward in your business. There's just no way. It's not possible. It's not possible because you're going to find somebody like you. And if you're positive, if you're, I also believe that your mindset gets what's the word? Permeates through your organization as well. And if your mindset is positive, if your mindset is, if it's to be, it's up to me. If I invite people, it would be, it's up to me. I know that results will come. And if that um, mindset is there, that will permeate throughout the organization. And if it's a negative mindset, it's also going to permeate through the organization, and it's going to polarize, right? And I see it. I see it. It polarizes. If anybody is on phase 3 and 4, their management mode, their vacation mode, and they catch a few others, and it polarizes, and they all like grapple together, right? And then you got, if you're positive, if you know you gotta grow, if you know you gotta do the things that will take you to get to the next level, those permeate and those grapple together, and they work that way as well. So we'll be focusing more on that. Maybe one of our next calls, it could be more on business customer acquisition tips. I am not the best personally, but I'm sure we can find one person here to share. There's many of you guys that are great customer gatherers. However, on the business side, there are some tips I can give. So we'll work on that. Thank you guys very much for being in this Zoom call. Again, the most important part is let's get us ready to have the mindset that we need to really know that the first part is I got to change me, I got to change my thoughts, I got to change my understanding of this business. The second thing is what phase am I on? Am I on phase 3 and 4? Then is a spiral working against me? Well, the mindset is working against you as well. But if you're on phase 1 and 2, then you can take that positive, and that will give you the result that you want. So then I don't want to take more time. I don't think I have any more time available, but I'll just give it back to you, David, and let's focus on that as the trainings that we do next week. Go ahead, David. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you very much, Mr. Alex Reynoso. Guys, let's show some love to Mr. Alex Reynoso for that incredible training, leadership. I mean, these are nuggets that have put him at the top of the industry for a decade and above, and to let him to now own his own company, my friends, to create this incredible opportunity that every single one of us are capitalizing in. So congratulations for every single one of us that have been here to get to experience Mr. Alex Reynoso. What an incredible thing. So let's just show our appreciation. Thank you very much, guys. We are now going for an hour and 46 minutes. Thank you, guys. I think we lost maybe like 2 people. So congratulations. Let's go out there and make it happen, guys. Have a great day. Have a great Saturday. And let's go ahead and build a big business for every single one of us. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
David.
Have a great day,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Bye.
Thanks. Have a great
Thank
day.
you,
Everyone, have a
amazing
great
training.
day.
Bless
Brooke,
you.
Day.
David.
Bless you.
Also, have a
Thank
guy's
Thank
name.
you.
you. Thank you.
Happy
Bless
Father's
Have a
Day,
you.
great
guys.
day.
Happy
Day,
Father's
guys.
Happy
Love
Father's
you
Day to all the
guys.
God
fathers who
bless.
are
Bye.
in heaven.
Amen. Goodbye. Have a
All
great
right.
day.
Bye,
Talk to you
everyone. Take
soon.
care.
Thank you. Fabulous call.